Thank you for that introduction, Dr. Stein. Now that you all know an embarrassing story about me, hopefully if I do anything more awkward, it will not be a surprise to you all. But good morning. Good morning, CPS faculty, administration, and fellow graduates. My name is Kathy Ting-Ting Yu, and my pronouns are she, her. This is actually my first time at Northeastern's campus. I completed my Master of Science in Organizational Leadership completely online from San Francisco while working full-time. I applied to Northeastern because I wanted to make a change in my life. Have you ever found yourself on the wrong path? Then perhaps this will resonate with you too. I spent the first decade of my career in media and advertising sales. I fell into the career accidentally and found out that I was pretty good at it. But throughout the 10 years, I couldn't help but feel it was the wrong path for me. And to be honest, my career brought on a lot of guilt. If I didn't like to see ads myself, I was often left asking, why am I in this field, and why am I okay with selling them? It didn't feel like it represented who I was. I had forgotten who I was. So, who am I? What is my identity? Well, I'm a first-generation Chinese American. I was born in California and grew up in a predominantly Asian and Hispanic community in San Gabriel Valley, which is a suburb of Los Angeles County. My refugee parents raised me to work hard, blend in, and don't ruffle any feathers. I grew up going to dim sum with my family, attending banquet-style weddings, and receiving red envelopes on Lunar New Year. I didn't experience much diversity in my childhood, but I watched a lot of TV and movies where I was exposed to mainstream cultures and perspectives. But I didn't see a lot of my own culture in mainstream media. When I went to college, I started to experience what it felt like to be a minority. I felt pressure to assimilate and downplay my ethnicity. I was even ashamed to share my Chinese middle name, Ting-Ting, to further remind people that I'm Asian. I suppressed who I was. After college, I started my career in a field where Asians were also a minority, so I continued to blend in. I turned to nonprofit volunteer work in my free time as a source of comfort and where I could find community and open-mindedness. During the pandemic, racial events and the social justice movement really impacted me emotionally. I wanted to do something to help, and that's when I decided to make a career pivot. I wanted to pursue a career in corporate social responsibility, or CSR, where I could leverage my skills in philanthropy and building relationships to create change and make a positive impact. To make this career change, I wanted to educate myself. So I applied to Northeastern, and I started in the fall of 2020. The Organizational Leadership Department's academic advisor helped me create a custom concentration that aligned with my career goals, which included elective courses in nonprofit management, intercultural communication, and ethical leadership. One of the most impactful classes I took was Leadership Communication with Dr. Nancy Polishin. Students were tasked to create a TED-formatted talk on any topic we were passionate about, something that is so important to us that we recognize that it drives us and motivates us in our lives. Dr. P explained that when you speak about something you are passionate about, you're more genuine in your delivery and storytelling, and people will want to listen. This challenged me to reflect on what mattered to me and who I was. This was in 2021 during the peak of the pandemic, and I felt compelled to talk about my parents and our heritage and the hate incidents towards Asians in the US occurring at this time. I spoke about the rhetoric that had been set by the media, pop culture, and by politics that made Asians an easy target for bullying. I had never used storytelling in this way to educate people I didn't know and who were of different cultures than me. This class and several other classes at Northeastern empowered me to view my identity and my experiences as tools and strengths and made me feel confident and prepared to make my career pivot. But making a career pivot in my mid-30s was still terrifying because I had to make sacrifices and start from scratch. This included taking unpaid internships and low-paying entry-level jobs. It took a lot of trial and error and rejected job applications, but it led me to figure out exactly what role I wanted, how I wanted to contribute, what type of companies aligned with my values, and what I stood for. This journey led me to be authentic to who I am. Authenticity is the art of being true to yourself, of embracing who you are, and of living your life with integrity and purpose. Once I discovered who I was, everything seemed to fall into place. I currently work at Pixar Animation Studios on the Inclusion and Outreach team. I'm in a CSR role where I focus on 3 things: community, culture, and content. I work in community relations and grant making, where we invest in underrepresented youths and our next generation of storytellers. I help foster Pixar's culture, where I encourage employees to give back and volunteer, and to join employee resource groups based on identities and interests. I also contribute to ensuring cultures and identities are represented authentically in Pixar's feature films and shows. Now, I work at a company that puts out content that shows diverse cultures and perspectives to the world. I'm able to use my culture and past experiences to make a positive impact. And I get to use what I've learned at Northeastern daily in my role. Lastly, even though my parents taught me not to, I get to ruffle feathers, but in a positive way. I know exactly who I am, and I'm proud of it. Thank you. And as Elastigirl from Pixar's film The Incredibles once said, "Your identity is your most valuable possession. Protect it." So, fellow graduates, you are the next leaders, thinkers, and change makers of our world. As you leave here today, I encourage you to embrace who you are, have the courage and conviction to pursue your passions, and stand up for what you believe in. Authenticity is a powerful force for change, because when we are true to ourselves, we inspire others to do the same. Congratulations, class of 2023. Thank you.